Firewatch is a walking simulator developed by Campo Santo. It's a narrative experience told through radio conversations and scripted events separated by days. Like most walking simulators, the game focuses heavily on its narrative. The gameplay is nothing more than walking and interacting with objects. What makes Firewatch a step up from the likes of other walking simulators is its freedom of exploration. Though the narration is linear, Firewatch's strength comes from its minimal first half. Exposition is done through a mixture of visual novelesque make-your-own story and exploration, giving the player a glimpse of Henry's world in a first-person perspective. Though short, it sets a tone that gives Henry context and relatability as a character. After a short prologue, the game gives the player freedom to interact with everything in Henry's station and introduces your boss and radio companion, Delilah, together with how the dialogue works. Your first full day in the forest sets the tone the player can expect in the setting. The player has the freedom to go about objectives in any way they wish. The objectives keep the game's narrative from truly having different endings, but the way the player is just thrown in the forest without corridors is commendable. This choice by the devs helps draw light to Firewatch's strengths, which are its atmosphere and the banter between Henry and Delilah. Henry is armed with ropes, a map, and a compass, although these tools don't always keep you from getting lost. For a more challenging experience, the player is given the option to turn off Show Location on Map, which forces the player to have a more detail-aware playthrough, letting the atmosphere shine and immerse the player into its world. It would have been easy to keep the forest as realistic as the developers could manage when it came to the game's aesthetics, but Campo Santo opted for a more stylized approach, which makes the games age better and give the forest's different landmarks a more distinct look. This makes getting lost all the more fun. Firewatch's world may be open to explore, but invisible walls still exist. Luckily, this is kept to a limited amount, although it can still break immersion. Although much of the game is walking around and interacting with objects, the focus of the game stems from Delilah and Henry's relationship. Henry and Delilah's banter is well written and the voice actors nail the personalities of the character. Adding Delilah and Henry's conversation to the game was a risky move, as it could have easily gone south with cringy dialogue ruining the game's atmosphere, but surprisingly the conversations feel very pleasant and added to the characterization of the setting. With Firewatch's strongest foundation being its atmosphere, it's kind of sad that its story lacks bite. Delilah and Henry's conversations hint at something bigger and mysterious hidden within the forest, and without going into spoilers, the ending does not satisfy. With playtime estimated around 3 to 4 hours, the third half rushes the plot towards an anticlimactic finale. With a game so keen to present its mystery, it's so sad to see such an atmospheric build-up get ruined by the game's short playtime. With a linear story and short playtime, replayability is almost non-existent. Firewatch was a very pleasant distraction. Weighed down by a glaring pacing issue, and for such a narrative-focused game, the short playtime and rushed ending makes Firewatch hard to recommend. Its linearity becomes a flaw when paired with its short playtime, which in the end kills replayability. I find that the $20 price tag may be steep for the average consumer. However, it might be worth picking up on sale if you're the type of person who likes walking simulators.